Sorry about that. I got a phone call and I'm using my Samsung phone to film this because it does really good videos, and it cut me off in the middle. Now, back to if you're stuck someplace where you don't have access to foam coat or you don't want to spend a lot of money for the projects, that's fine. I got you. I have a solution just for you. You go to Home Depot or Lowe's or any store like that and you buy white, dry, non-sanded grout. Now, you can get the sanded grout, but the difference is this goes on like a plaster. Okay? You use it for your home. It's 5 pounds. This is a 5-pounder, and it's only like $5. You can use it for an infinite number of projects. You put it on in a milky consister. You want to make it look like a milkshake. So when you're smoothing it on, you do multiple coats, and each coat that goes on the foam goes on very thin. You mix the consistency with water, and it goes on like a thin milkshake. That's how you want it, like a melted milkshake, and it'll coat your project and keep it strong and sturdy and sexy. It won't get busted. It's $5. This will cover a project. You figure about 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet, like a Jolly Rancher. If you're gonna make a Jolly Rancher, if you're gonna make a big fucking foam Jolly Rancher, then you can get the white dry ground. It's out. The white dry sanded grout. Don't mind me. I'm sober, and I really don't like doing this when I'm sober. Now, also you can use plaster cloth. Plaster cloth you've seen with some of my other videos, if you actually refer to my other videos on my channel. It's very simple. It's basically the same thing you get when you break a leg or an arm. It's just a cloth dipped in plaster of Paris, and you use that and you apply it to your projects, and it'll also give it a rock hard coat. I might make this a mixture of both just so you can see. Like, this is it. This is going to be a small dio. Basically, it's a display case for somebody, and I'm just doing it to kill some time. I need to practice my skills. Now, if you want to get sexy and use and you want to keep dios, or I know some people are selling their dios, my advice is to start investing in coating products. I personally use Hot Wire Foam Factory's foam coat. As you can see, I have their entire line. You can actually buy it. They have a practice package. They have it on Amazon. You can buy it direct from the company, and it gives you one of each of their products. Now, this is foam coat. Foam coat's very exciting. Works just like the plaster of Paris, but the difference between this is it gives it a nice rock hard surface, and you can adjust it. Okay? Now, when I say adjust, it means you start off with this base, and then they have boost, and the boost will do exactly what it says. It make it super strong. It's weatherproof. It makes your foam coat thinner. So now, if you have a lot of details, if you made a airfield and you wanted those concrete lines drawn in, you don't want the concrete lines to disappear, this will help. It makes it thinner so it won't eat up all of the undercuts you've made. Now, the boost makes the foam coat strong. Now, if you want to get sexy and make it exciting, they have bounce. Now, what bounce does is, if you've ever seen Nerf, basically what this will do is this will make your foam flexible and it won't break. So if you wanted to make cosplay weapons, or if you wanted to make something that you want to make a big bat out of foam and you want to hit somebody with it and not kill them or break it, then you use this. And what this will do is it gives it a protective surface. It makes it weatherproof, waterproof. You don't have to worry about anything bad happening to your project. And it also makes it bouncy. It literally makes it bouncy. Okay? Now, if you want to make them, if you want to give it an appearance of making outside, they have grit. The grit goes into the foam coat. It comes in 2 textures, coarse or fine. You see, it's stone texturizer. And also, basically, I'm going to tell you the truth. To me, it's just sand. Okay? So, it's pretty much just sand. But at least the difference is with this sand, it's clean, it's not dirty. Yeah, it's been cleaned and sanitized, and you won't have an allergic reaction. Now, if you're looking for a let's say you're working on a project that it can't look like concrete. You need to have smooth walls, or you're making a building, and you still want to coat it, and you're making the building out of foam. What do you use? They have you. I got something just for you. It's called Styroplast. Now, Styroplast is very exciting because Styroplast, when it goes on, Okay, you see it's fire retardant plastic brushable styrofoam. Now, it's also a permanent, and as you can see, it's weatherproof. Now it comes in this plastic. I don't take it out as plastic. It's a two-part mixture. Okay, it's going to be A to B. Now I leave these back in here until I really need them. I don't take them out because they're gooey. It's like an epoxy resin. This is self-leveling. When it goes on your project, it will give it a smooth gloss, a smooth coating appearance. So if you were making a building wall, you would lay the foam down, and then you would lay it on top. Okay, then it'll give it a glossy appearance, which can be sanded, it can be painted. You can pretty much do anything you want to it. All right, that would cover the coating ways. So there's plaster coat, there's non-set plaster coat you can buy anywhere. I buy mine from Amazon. I get a 25-pound box, and the 25-pound box cost me $50. I bought it 2 years ago, and I still have plenty of it. I've done lots of projects. I've actually thrown out more projects than you guys have actually seen. The white non-sanded grout, $5, 5-pound box. Foam coat, a little bit more. This is the smallest bottle. I think this was like $10. You could buy 25. You could buy 25 pounds for like $32. It depends on the level that you want to spend and how deeply you want to get involved. Now, after you've done all this, you have other choices of what else you're going to do your project. This is before you add any kind of flocking. This is before you add any kind of... This is just the simple stuff. There's also Woodland Scenics. Woodland Scenics has some cool stuff. But Woodland Scenics is kind of expensive. And I got the Woodland Scenics when I first started doing this. And I realized they have some products that you just can't live without. And some products that I'm not even touching because they're way too expensive. Casting plaster is exactly that. Make your own castings. So if you're gonna do rocks, if you already laid down your foam and you want to add some extra and make it stronger, you can use this. Also, any of the things that I told you today will take Woodland Scenics earth pigments. I do use the earth pigments because I find that they give a more natural color. So railroaders use them, and the railroaders have the best dioramas out. I mean, their stuff is lifelike. So I mean, you can't beat that. So. I'm nowhere near a pro. I'm nowhere near. I'm just beginner experience, But compared to them, I'm like a baby in the womb. But like I said, it's what you get. Now for roads, this is Smooth It. Smooth It is a much lighter weight. I would say it's like a lightweight hydrocal, because to me that's what it's like. Okay. Now, what you do is you take this, and whatever you've coated the road or whatever it's going to be with. You take it, you use guides on the side. If you need to make a sidewalk, you would lay it down. You can make this a sidewalk here. Let's say this is going to be a sidewalk, and this is going to be the road. You put the Smooth It down on top of however you coated it, and what it'll do is it'll go on like a road bed. Then Woodland Scenics has asphalt colored paint, and it makes a perfect road, which is what I'm going to do with this project, so you're going to see how it's going to look. So, like I said, there's so many different ways you can coat it. And I know when you first start out, everyone's going for the easy way. They just tend to paint the foam. But what happens when you just paint the foam, it's not going to be sturdy. And it's not going to take abuse. And it's not going to be strong. Alright, so, I mean, look, this is a Soul of Chigogan Combattler. Alright? As you can see how big he is, he's pretty freaking big. Now, if you zoom in close... and you look, just from the imprints that he makes, okay? Because this is C-solid die cast. Just from the imprints that he makes, you can see right there that it's going to start to dent. Now, if all you've done is painted it, pretty soon it's going to have a big dented piece of doohickey, caca, malarkey, whatever you want to call it. But it's going to start looking horrendous. Now, if you've invested a lot of time in that, you're going to be upset. You're not going to be feeling too good about that. Now, if you've coated it, and you've given it some kind of coating, then, then you don't have to worry about it. The lake. Alright? Coating is very exciting, very important. Just to give you an idea, of how good it is to coat things, okay? I'm going to show you some old, just like sample projects that I've done, and you can actually see that they do withstand the test of time. Now these projects I did a long time ago, and I keep them around when I'm doing other things, just to use them as a sample guide. Now this was a temple dog that I had done a long time ago, about a year, and as you can see, it's pretty big. Okay, and it's cut entirely out of